Kimbo, Kimbo, Natatan Zambi, Yamazuli. All praises belong to our Tata and Zambi. Hallelujah. So Nini na Nini Amandala. We want to say Matondo and welcome to our listeners on YouTube and on Facebook. Today we have a very, very interesting topic. Hallelujah. And I ask that our Tata and Zambi and our righteous and Kulu of the light would open your eyes and your ears, that you may understand what is being brought forth, and that we may have clarity. Hallelujah. I was born here in the United States, and everything that I learned, I was taught by the European in the European schools. And as I grew and progressed in age and in this culture, I was trying to assimilate. In my process of assimilation, I knew that there were Europeans who didn't like me because of my skin color, and they made it known. I thank the Most High for this awakening, because I began to awaken to know who I am. And so I know some don't agree with doing the DNA, but I did it. And when I did it, the one thing that I learned was I have no European within me.
Nice.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
What a blessing.
Is authentically African, you all. Been transposed from Africa to America by way of his ancestors here lost in this land of Babylon for hundreds of years.
That's what a blessing.
Awesome.
And you-
Can't y'all see? Look at his features.
Very
What
evident.
a blessing.
You literally got you an African prince.
And when I found out, because we both did it, because we know what happened over here, they raped our mothers to have more children, to because they was considered as basically they were a form of money investment. And so majority of us have a little bit in us, you know, but Tata Zombie scripture said he's going to purify our blood, and he's doing that. So, you know, needless to say, yes, I had just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Portuguese was one, and we know that the Portuguese was the first that enslaved our ancestors. And I was trying to figure out how in the world I got Portuguese DNA. And like, y'all were the first came and enslaved our ancestors. You raped our ancestors. So that's why I'm right here living witness of what you all did. Me, my DNA. So when I saw that he didn't have it, I'm like, how in the world, your mother, both your parents are from the South. How in the world you come out that you are a purebred African over here in America, American born? And we were told that the Nkulus preserve some people. There was just some people they preserved for a certain specific reason, for a certain specific time.
Yes. Now, why did I say that? I didn't say it to try to boast, okay? There are still some of us here in the diaspora that are fully African. You were preserved and all Kimbo to Tata Nzambi. Hallelujah. That at one time I wanted to learn Hebrew. I couldn't get it. I tried. I couldn't get it. I was speaking to people. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Miss Parker. You know, I was saying it proudly, Shabbat Shalom. And when Christ on the cross in the Bible, right? And it said, Eli, Elimi, lama sabachthani. I mean, I was saying that proudly, but it was not setting right. in my spirit.
Register with us.
Same here.
Hallelujah.
Just in register.
So I continued to search and speak to Tata Nzambe, asking him, let me know who I am. Show me, reveal to me. So with that said, I'm not going to go through everything, but what I will say is this. We see what's going on in the news, what they want us to see, what they want us to hear, what they want us to know. But we got to go beyond that. So in going beyond that, what we come to understand and to learn is, will the real Semite stand up? And I want to say, I am a real Semite. Now, some people may have an issue with that because they say, the Bible says Shem. We're not Semites, we're Shemites. But we're going to open this up a little more. What is so special about this word Semite, Semitic? What's special about it? All right. So I am going to turn this part over.
I thought you was gonna go on.
I'm gonna let you do this, baby.
I'll go on and do it. All right, Siami family, Siami. So it can be a lot sometimes when you are getting downloads about certain things. I told you I wasn't going to teach this summer, remember? When Zombie was going to come and he came up and said, you know, we're going to talk about the real Semites. And he got to talking, I just went on. Oh yeah, let's talk about this. I got a lot to say on this.
I got it fired up.
So it was so much coming, you know, I have to cut it off at a certain point because I understand that we as a people that being over in the diaspora for hundreds of years, especially us in America, more so than our brothers and sisters in the diaspora and other places, we lost more of our culture and our heritage, our tongue than the others. And so much come to you, you want to absorb it all so much, you just want to bask in it when it's coming in, but we have to pace ourselves, you know, because sometimes we can get overwhelmed, overloaded, and I understand that, and I don't want to overload and overwhelm anybody, but it's a lot of information that is being revealed in this hour to our people, and we have, that is being found a threat to other people for various reasons, but that's not a problem of our own. It's just not. We're not going to take ownership of that. We are who we are. We're not going to give any excuses for it. This is who we are. This is our identity, and we're going to own it because it's ours by right.
Yes, take ownership. Take ownership.
So like you said, we're going to dive into it and just kind of look at this word that is buzzing around and causing all this hoopla around social media and everything. See what's going on, what it is, and so forth and so on. So the definition of it is relating to or denoting, they say, as a family of languages. That includes Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, and certain ancient languages such as Phoenician, Akkadian, and that constitute the subgroup of Afro-Asiatic family. So you all see it's Afro-Asiatic family. So it's saying that these particular people spoke this language. And so they grouped it and said, okay, well, we're going to call it Semitic because of the language, but it's more to it than just the language. And we'll get into it. But the people that came in and that have been studying us, our people, our history, our culture, our ancestors, and so forth and so on, they grouped it by the subgroup of Afro-Asiatic people, meaning that they were people on the continent of Africa and Asia. And remember, our people were in Asia, melanated people I'm talking about.
Yes.
So they say that these Afro-Asiatic people, they were a family. So they were connected related. And they noticed that they spoke a language that was similar, you know, amongst these people, hence Semitic. So it says relating to the peoples who speak Semitic languages, especially Hebrew and Arabic, they say. Afro-Asiatic languages is also called Afrasian languages. Formerly, so they used to call it Hamito-Semitic, Semito-Hamitic, and we know what Hamitic is simply Kim, calm, Ham, dark, black. So the black people languages, and, and so they're related. Remember I told you they said this is a related family. So the Hamitic Semitic people are related people of a family that spoke a language that was similar, that was common. Let me move this so I can read this. See, as you can see, languages of common origin found in the northern part of Africa and the Arabian Peninsula and some islands in Western Asia. The name Afro-Asiatic gained wide acceptance following the classification of African languages. So they were studying our languages and they noticed some similarities. So they proposed in 1955 through 63 by a linguist by the name of Joseph Greenberg. And you know who he is just by the name. So they've been studying us for quite some time. Scholars in the former Soviet Union prefer to call these languages Afrasian. It still is the same. Africa and Asia is what it's saying. These people spoke a common language in these particular areas.
Yes.
And so what I'm going to be doing too is to show by words, because they're talking about language. So I'm going to be looking at some of our words, some of our Bantu words, to prove something here, you know. It is for us, nobody else, us. I'm only concerned about us, to show our people who they are so that you can have a sense of pride about who you are. And I know you all do, but there are some people that don't know, and that perhaps when they see this, they will be enlightened and have a sense of pride and say, hey, that is I. Yes. So that is the purpose here. Okay, I want to go here. Okay, I think I need to go here. All branches of the Afro-Asiatic family are spoken exclusively on the African continent. You all see that? All branches of the Afro-Asiatic family is spoken exclusively on the continent of Africa. Now, why do they say that? And we said that it was those Asia and Africa, because at one time, long ago, Asia was part of the continent of Africa.
I think what they call that, the Pangea.
Yes. Even later after that, though, you know. Afro-Asiatic languages have over 500 million native speakers, which is the fourth largest number of native speakers of any language family. It has 6 branches. They say it has 6 branches, talking about their definition of it: Berber, Cadic, Cushitic, Egyptian, Semitic, and I'm not going to add Omotic to it because they said there are some controversy surrounding it because of the linguistic doesn't really match up like the others do. So as you can see, all these people are melanated people from the continent of Africa. These are the branches of the Afro-Asiatic Semitic language: Berber, Chadic, Kush, the land of Kush, beyond the rivers of Kush, Cushitic, Kemet, land of the black, Semitic. Excuse me, it says, I'm moving some stuff around here. Most widely spoken Afro-Asiatic language or dialect, they say, is Arabic. Now I need to move this. Afro-Asiatic includes several important ancient languages, such as ancient Egyptian. So they said that the Afro-Asiatic language also includes ancient Egyptian. Okay, Kemet. So y'all remember that. Put that in the back of your brain right there. And this is we're still talking about Semitic language, Afro-Asiatic, also known as Afro-Asiatic languages. And they said that ancient Egyptian is part of the Afro-Asiatic languages. Because remember they said North Africa, Northeast Africa, which is where it was. So remember that, which forms a distinct branch, excuse me, of the family within the Semitic family, Akkadian, Biblical, Hebrew, and Old Aramaic. Let me see if I need to. No, I don't need to go there. No. The term Semitic itself was coined by the German historian Ludwig Schlosser to refer to languages spoken by a group of people thought to descend from the biblical figure Shem, the son of Noah. All right. You counting?
Yeah.
Okay. However, they said that some of Sem's descendants don't speak. They do not speak Semitic languages, but they're his descendants. It said that includes the Elamites, the Lydians also, and some others as well. So just because they don't speak a Semitic language does not mean that they are not related, is what they're saying here, because they still a descendant of Shem. So y'all remember that. Remember that. This here's just a graph that I found here to show Afro-Asiatic branches off to Egypto-Semitic to Egyptian and Semitic from Egyptian, they said Hebrew. But honestly, you'll see when you understand really what Hebrew is and who the Hebrew people are, it's reverse. It's Habiru, then Egyptian. But they have Egypt. These are people we need to understand. If I come in your house and try to go out and tell people what's going on in your house, I don't know the full scope, really what's going on, and I can't tell the truth of it. If I'm trying to tell your story, I can't tell your story like you, right? And if I have a hidden agenda, I'm certainly not going to tell it in favor of you either, right? Exactly. So that's what we're dealing with. And so the Cushitic, you see the North Cushitic and so forth and so on. So.
Okay. Questions? Anyone have any questions so far or comments?
All right.
Okay.
So Semitic languages spoken today, they say includes Arabic, Ethiopic, Hebrew, and some traces of Aramaic in the Syriac Christian churches where it survived for liturgical uses. Now they have something that they call the Dead Semitic languages, which includes the Akkadian, Old Babylonian, and the New Assyrian, as well as various Canaanite dialects. So these are the ancient, they said these are the ancient Semitic languages. Canaanite, we know who the Canaanites are, melanated people. We know who the Babylonians are, melanated people. We know who the Assyrians are, melanated people. I know they show the world something different, but it is inaccurate. It is not true. It's not a true depiction or who these people really are. And we'll get in that just a little bit. I didn't want to go too deep in there, but just enough to show you that what they depict is not true. That's why I said, if I come in your house, especially if I have a hidden agenda, I'm not going to portray you in the image that it's going to make you look good in a positive light. So for, especially if I have something that I want of yours and I come in and I take it, of course I gotta, prove otherwise. It doesn't belong to you, right? Yep. I took it from you, but I gotta prove that it doesn't belong to you. And I'm gonna, if I've had it for all these years, what they said on that video that was going viral with Nick Cannon and what was the other guy that was used to be with the rap group? And he said, somebody steal your bike and you want your bike back, you go get your bike, right? And they said, no, it's my bike. And let's put it in perspective. Somebody stole your bike. The bike was pure gold, right? And the father never did recover. He didn't find it. He wasn't able to recover. It was taken away from him for whatever reason. The children come up, the grandchildren come up, and the great-grandchildren, and they realize, wait a minute, they find out that this golden bike belong to their descendant, to their forefathers. What do you think they're going to do?
Fight back.
They want the bike back. So that's what he said. We want our bike back, right? They took it. Do you think they're going to hand it over? If I go get the bike, you think they're going to hand the bike over to me?
They're gonna fight you.
No. So you all see what's going on, the battle, because it was a battle, it was a war that took place that allowed a group of individuals to assume another people's identity. So therefore, because it was a war, it was a fight, so forth and so on, it's going to take a struggle to take it back. And that's what we see going on right now. That struggle, that fight, that war to reclaim, to recover, to even restore our identity in what's rightfully ours. Crazy, isn't it? You have to fight for what's rightfully yours. Crazy. You got something to say?
I was just gonna say, the people with the golden bike that took it from us, they actually believe it's theirs because it's been in their possession for so many years.
Yes, it's true. So a lot of them are food like we are. That's true.
Yeah, they believe that they are. But I know that they have done research and they see clearly it's not them. But I digress.
Yeah, the powers that be that are in certain positions within that group that stole the bike, they know.
Yeah,
they have
do.
Documents, they have resources.
Yes.
They know the truth.
Yes.
It's been hidden from not only us, but from the world. Remember, there's a scripture in the Bible, in Revelation, it says that Satan has fooled the whole world. How has he fooled the whole world? First, I'll say this, by describing to the world that Satan was this mythical figure that was red with these horns and these pigtails with a tail and these pitchfork. Not so. It's just an evil individual that does evil things. That's all.
Our adversary.
Yes. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. So let's look at some words here. Remember, they said that Babylonian and Akkadian and Assyria was some old ancient Semitic languages. So let's go to their language. Just look at some stuff here to do some comparison. So I looked up the word Nabonidus. Nabonidus. Am I pronouncing it right? Nabonidus. Okay, Nabonidus.
Nabonidus.
He was a Babylonian king. Actually, they said this was Nebuchadnezzar II in the Bible that ruled from 556 to 539, right? So, it's the root word of it is Nebo or Nabu. So Nabu, we already know what that sounds like. It's very similar to Bantu languages, right? Nebo, Nabu was the Babylonian deity. Now, don't get triggered by that word deity. They play on words. Deity means God. Scripture says that we were God, and we're going to get into that. So that's why I put that definition there. It's just a divine nature, attributes of God, which we have. Hence, they said they refer to themselves as God. Why? Because he was a king. So when you understand in our culture, even just African period on the continent, not just Bantu, but we know that the bulk of people on the continent of Africa anyway are Bantu people. So in Africa alone, the king is referred to as a god because he's representing God on earth. So therefore, he's a deity. Remember, the terminology in the Bible in Genesis is that of rulership, dominion, kingship. So they said he was the deity of the god of wisdom and writing. Although this Nebo became an important figure in Babylon, it probably, I noticed that word probably always creep up when people that stole the bike are trying to decipher, to understand, to write about the people who they stole the bike from, about their history, their culture, their language, and so forth. I noticed some years back that word creeps up a lot, you all.
Yeah.
So I would probably say that since they probably use probably a lot, that they don't really know. Okay, and we'll leave it at that. It probably originated in the Semitic language area. It's talking about Nabu, and we're gonna see why they say it probably. They try to hide, but you can't hide the truth. You know, when you can't cover up a lie, especially a lie this deep, it's gonna come forth and manifest as it is, and it's ruffling some feathers, you all. It's ruffling a lot of feathers.
It's good. Need to ruffle them.
It says there were several entities named Nebo in the Bible. The god Nebo, which was a king, because the king was considered a god, is twice mentioned in the Bible in Isaiah 46:1 and Jeremiah 48:1. So it says here at the bottom, like I said, don't get triggered by deity. You yourself, if you're melanated, especially if you're Bantu, you are a god. That's what the Bible says. Okay. So from the 1580 as being to whom a divine or godlike nature is attributed. So that's how it is when they said deity, someone that has the nature or the attributes of the Most High. Okay. So Nebo, Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king, I don't think I have this on the slide, but I'll say that they say his son was Belshazzar in the Bible. He was a prince, and they said that he gave the rulership to his son Belshazzar, and you will see him in the Bible. And he went to a place called Tema. I think it's Tema. So when I looked up Tema, because I like looking up places, the only place that I could find Tema was in Ghana. And they say he went there for some years and stayed over there while his son, the prince, ruled in his stead. So as you can see, it says Nabu Naid. Nabonidus, or either it's Nabonidus, Nabu Naid is probably more correctly. And the root word of it is the Nebo or Nabu, also known as Nebuchadnezzar. They said Tema. You see Tema. And his father, Nabu Balasi Igbi, and his mother, Adad Gupi, and his son Belshazzar. And they're in the Bible. So I looked up Adad. They have a Adad, but it's a different spelling that's in Nigeria. And so I've come to find out that a lot of places in the Bible, when you know how to look, because they have kind of altered words and names and places and stuff for various reasons, you know. But I learned how to manipulate and get around this and find a lot of places in West Central Africa in the Bible places, a lot of them. So you see this Tema, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up so that you can see it. I have to stop sharing. You see this? Oh, I gotta share it. Is that it? Okay, there it is. It was so small. Right here. That's what I want. Okay, you see this? Tema. And that's where he went. It's in Ghana. And I tried to find if it was anywhere else. And as a matter of fact, let me just. It says Tema is a city on the, this is Wikipedia. I don't like using Wikipedia, but I can find it in other places too. So I know this is accurate Wikipedia, because anybody can change Wikipedia. So from a perspective, when you're doing research and, you know, things, trying to validify things, you don't want to use Wikipedia. Tema is a city on the Bight of Benin, Atlantic coast of Ghana. See right here, Britannica, Ghana, Tema, and this is where he was. So he was in Ghana. So, and that a god I found in Nigeria, the mother. So a lot of these places you will see that our people named them after their ancestors, their forefathers, because we tell stories, you know, with the names and stuff, or with the occurrence or whatever. So I found that was in Nigeria, I do believe. Let me see. But it was spelled different. I can't remember how it was spelled. That wasn't it. You see Agad, Nigeria, here you are. Agad products, the best prices in Nigeria. So that word is there in that area. So, but anyway, that was just to show you all. We're still talking about Semites, so. All righty, let's get back here. On track. Any questions, comments? All right, moving along.
Give them time. Anybody?
I don't see any hands up. That's why I did that, because I know they put their hands up. Any comments or questions, you all? Is this registering? Registering?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It'll all come together. All righty. So, Nabu. Let's look at that word. It says. What you doing?
Okay. Just
Oh.
moving this.
Okay.
So,
Nabu, sometimes known as tutu. There you go again. Sounds like not only Bantu words, but also King Tut. It sounds like Egyptian. Well, remember they said the Egyptian also is a Afro-Asiatic language. Okay, y'all put that in your memory bank. So Nabu, sometimes known as Tutu, is a Babylonian god of wisdom. He was a god because he was a king. Nabu was a king. His name means, they say, the announcer. This is from the World History Encyclopedia, which refers to his prophetic and creative powers in calling forth words, the harvest and other plant life and visions of prophecy. So he was prophetic. And so his name means that which prophesied, to announce, right? So let's go to the Blue Letter Bible. He's in the Bible. They say he was King Nebuchadnezzar. So his name should be in the Blue Letter Bible. So when you look at Nebo, you see, just as they said, they got it right, prophet. You see, it says probably, remember I told you that word creeps up a lot when a certain people who stole a bike of some other people, when they talk about their history, their names, and their land, you will see this word a lot, probably, which leads me to believe probably you don't know. All righty. So, let me go back here. So you see Nebo prophet. So when you go to Strong's H5030, you'll see Nabi. And Nabi means spokesman, speaker, prophet. Nabi is a Kikongo word that we use that means prophet. Nabi is the Bantu. It's a Bantu word. So, and let me go see what this here root word was. That was 5015. Let me go see something real quick here. 12, you all. Real quick. Okay. So I'm just going to show you all this here. So I went to the root word of it. It said, I wanted to, because I didn't look at that earlier. So I wanted just to look at it and see. So since I have it up. So this is the root word. It says Naba. Remember they had Nabo, but it was more likely it was the A, Naba, and then Nabu with the U. So U and A, you will find that a lot in Bantu languages, more so than the O at the end. So this is more accurate right here. As you can see, they don't have probably. See? Primitive.
Primitive root.
And our people were primitive. When you look at the word primitive, primitive is right. This word is primitive because it came from the primitive people. Okay? Nabi, Naba, to prophesy under influence of divine spirit. Okay? It can also mean false. It's just prophet, to prophesy. I'll go back to it. Okay. Here. Moving along, we're moving along good. Okay, this is just when I pulled up in Google Translate just to show you all again, just to solidify, to show receipt. I try to come with receipts, you all, because the people with the bike, they don't have receipt for the bike. So we're going to show receipt to show them we own the bike. Okay? We coming with receipt. We own the bike. Give us our bike back. So when you look at the word prophet, you see, I told you, Kiswahili is a Bantu language spoken in East Africa. It's very prominent. It's spoken very prominent on the continent of Africa, as a matter of fact, as far as in business. So they're trying to make it, the business language of Africa. So Swahili, Nabi, is prophet. Bantu, receipts, receipt. The Greek word was used in Septuagint for Hebrew Nabi, because the J is pronounced like an I. It was an I before they changed it into a J. That's why it has a hook. So that J is just an I with a hook. That's all the J is. So it's pronounced as with an I sound. Nabi. So Hebrew Nabi. So they say Hebrew is Nabi. We said Nabi in Kikongo, in Swahili, Bantu languages. Receipts. Receipts. We're coming for our bike. It says soothsayer, inspired prophet. Early Latin writers translated Greek prophets to Latin vate. Y'all heard of vates before? But the Latinized from prophetic predominated in post-classical times, chiefly due to Christian writers, probably
There's that word.
because of pagan association, because they got pagan. No, vates. No. So this here is just a little chart that I found of all the kings here of the Babylonian and the Chaldean dynasty. As you can see, the king we're talking about falls up under the Chaldean dynasty, which was a Babylonian king. So they were one of the same, they were the same people. So I just showed you and proved to you that the language that they use to refer to themselves, Nabonidus, come from Bantu languages, the root word, right? Receipt. He ruled from 555 to 539 BC. He was a king. They said a deity. He was a deity because we refer to our kings as a deity here on earth that's ruling like an ambassador, embassy. So you coming and you ruling, on behalf of the king. That is why he's called King of Kings, because he have the kings on earth that are ruling here. He gave us dominion. Dominion means to rule, to have authority, right? So it was given to us and we lost it. We have to take it back. And we're living in an era now where that is taking place. It is destined. It is destined, you all. That is why you see it's going all over worldwide and they can't control it. They can't stop it, with what's going on because it was prophesied. They can't stop this prophecy. So I have this here to go to this for. Let me see why I want to go here. I can't. Okay. It says Semites. Today, the word Semite may be used to refer to any number of peoples, member of any of a number of people, ancient Southwest Asian descent, including Akkadians, Phoenicians, Hebrews that they say are Jews. They say.
Why wasn't it? Go ahead. Never mind.
It says today.
Right.
Keynote.
Exactly. Today. And we've seen the word Hebrews throughout this teaching, and not that quotation, with the
Brackets. Yeah,
yes, okay, with that
parentheses.
word in there.
parentheses.
Yes, okay. But I like this because it says today.
You have to pay attention to
Today.
certain words. So Arabs and their descendants. So here you see examples of this, what I wanted to really show, of the Semites, the Phoenicians who were Black, and I can prove it, but this is not what this teaching is about. The Assyrians, who were, I don't like Black, but melanated. The Assyrians, melanated. I think I got this in here, we'll see that. And where they are, their descent, where all these people, the Assyrians, Babylonian, the Phoenicians, all their descendants are still alive today and on the continent of Africa, you all. They said that they dead, they died out. No, that's not true. They hide them. And they lie to the world and say they died out, because if they tell you who these people are, they show them, then they're going to look like you and I, and it's going to blow up in their face, because that bike that they stole is going to prove that that bike is not there. They came to some place and just took the bike. I remember I was a young girl. Christmas, I got a bike. My mama got me a bike for Christmas. That very same day, you all, my brother had took my bike and went to my grandmother's house, and he had it out front in her house. And he comes back walking, I'm like, where my bike? This what we saying now, where my bike? Somebody stole it. What you think somebody stole it? He said, I think I know who got it. I'm gonna go, y'all see, yeah. I was young. I think I was maybe like 10 years old. So, but anyway, when somebody takes something of yours, you want it back. It's yours. You. So these are the different people that are known as, it said, examples of Semites: the Phoenicians, the Assyrians, Babylon, the Sumerians, and Nebuchadnezzar and the fall of Babylon. It talks following the military defeat, a terrible famine gripped Babylon, which invited attacks from the Semitic Aramaic. So all these people on it, it says Afro-Asiatic people on the continent of Africa. Remember I told you all these people on the continent of Africa. Hot, tropical area, by the equator. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Even President Nassar knew who stole our bike. Because remember, he said, you left here Black and you came back white. He said there will never be peace. So
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Back in 1950, something, when the Jewish state was being established.
yes. Yes. So he know who stole our bike.
Hadij, I see your mess. You said Tot was the Egyptian god of wisdom and writing. So this Nabu might be who they are referring to. And I actually read something in my research that he was also known as Tot. So that is correct. So which is Egyptian, because they say Egyptian, remember, is a Afro-Asiatic language. Remember that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna come with receipts.
We got to.
Because we want our bike back.
That's right.
And we taking it back.
Yes. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's ours. We coming to get it.
So
the grubby hand of it.
Huh?
Yeah, and if you get the grubby hands off of it.
Yes.
That's right. We're gonna clean it up.
So they can't show receipts.
It's gonna shine.
But
again.
we can show receipt. I'm just focusing on, I want to try to focus on us though. So okay. All righty. Let me go back here. What time? Okay, we're doing good.
Any questions so far? Comments?
Stay quiet today. All right, I have this in here. That's a rhyme and reason to my madness, you guys. I'd be coming up with stuff and I'd be tying stuff all together, and it may not look like why she got this in here. So the Enuma Elish is a Babylonian epic of creation. I just showed you who the Babylonians were just by looking at their root words, the words that they used. They were melanated people. They were our forefathers, actually, you know, from way back, because they said ancient of ancient time. We go way back. We didn't just come around 5,000 to 10,000 years ago, as they said that some other group of people. No, we've been here hundreds and thousands of years.
You just
On
slid that
earth.
in there, didn't you?
What I slide in.
You didn't come here no 10,000 years ago like some other people.
Well, it's true. That's what they say.
Yeah, you
They
right.
said what?
You
Five? Some
That's
said
what I'm
5,
saying. It's
10,
true.
some said 6,000 years ago.
Yes.
That's early in
Yes.
comparison to how long we've been here as
We've been
melanated
here.
people.
We've been here.
Eons. Of course, they, you know, science say that we are the original people. And I showed you all, I did the teaching last week on melanin to prove just that. Who we are. Where we come
Yep.
from, talking about created in his image and in his likeness. They talk about the dark matter and the dark energy and what it is. So more receipts. So I'm just coming with more receipts. That's all, just more and more receipts. So the Enuma Elish, also known as the 7 tablets of creation, is a Mesopotamian creation myth whose titles derive from the opening lines of the piece, When on High. So there's a method to my madness why I have that in here, you all. So the Enuma Elisha is the epic. Elish is the epic of creation. So it's a story of creation that's in Genesis. But this is way before Genesis. This here tablets, what they found that was talking about the creation, way before Genesis ever came on the scene. So the Enuma Elish would later be the inspiration for the Hebrew scribes who created the text now known as the biblical book of Genesis. So as you can see, it was way before the book of Genesis. And you have some people, some of our people say, if it ain't in the Bible, I don't believe it. All they want to go by is the Bible. That's all they want to go by. And a lot of them know, well, I say some of them know that the Bible is a tainted book. It has been corrupted. You know, granted, it has some truth and it has some lies. It has some misinformation in there. So you have, that's why I say you have to be careful, use, you know, wisdom when reading it, because it'll get you tripped up. Like you got our people tripped up. You know, got them believing some stuff that ain't true. Got them messed up mentally, spiritually, psychologically, physically. That's why you got people coming out siding with the ones that took the bite. No, that's their bite. Knowing it's not their bite. People that look like us, they say, yeah, that's their bite.
That's the master bite.
That's what we see going on. You wrong for trying to come and take his bite. Knowing it's your bite, and he know it's your bite. Trust me. They know it's his bite. They know it's our bite. Trust and believe they know that. Prior to the 19th century CE, the Bible was considered the oldest book in the world, and its narratives were thought to be completely original. In the mid-19th century CE, however, European museums, as well as academic and religious institutions, sponsored excavations. And what did they find out? In Mesopotamia, to find physical evidence for historical corroboration of the stories in the Bible. These excavations found quite the opposite, that the Bible was not the oldest book or the oldest narrative. So these excavations found quite the opposite. However, in the once cuneiform was translated, it was understood that a number of biblical narratives were Mesopotamian in origin. So the Bible has its origin way back, older than what they say, that comes from a group of people that are known as the Babylonians, who were melanated people. So the Bible, as we have been saying, is a book about melanated people. Hence the reason why when you go to the book of Genesis, you will see the very setting itself is in Africa. Africa. Melanated people. Receipts. We want our bite back. Maybe that should have been the title. I want my bite back. He need to probably put a trademark on that. I want my bite back. Famous stories such as the fall of man and the great flood were originally conceived and written down in Sumer, translated and modified later in Babylon. So all these people, Sumer, Babylon, Acadia, Assyria, all these people live close by each other, and they were actually related. Okay, we already heard they were related by language, but they were also related by blood, cousins. So, and we found out that they were melanated people, right? I was looking for my map that shows Babylon in the area of Sudan, because they moved Babylon into over in the area in Iraq. That's inaccurate. That is not where Babylon is at. It's over in the Sudan or Sudan area. And I didn't find it to put it on here, but I have it. And some of you have seen it because I think I posted it in our group, but that's where it's at. And also you will see in that area, you will see Sennar, S-E-N-N-A-R, which is Shinar, okay? So it's over up in that area also. So all those areas were very close to each other, but they have, I said, they have twisted history, changed up names, changed up places to perpetuate their truth of holding on to something that's not theirs, that bite. So they had to alter some things to fool the world to thinking that that golden bike is their bike. So it says that translated and modified later in Babylon and reworked by the Assyrians before they were used by the Hebrew scribe for the verses which appear in the Bible. So before it came down to the Hebrews, and the Babylonians had it. Before then, the Sumerians had it. See? Which were melanated people. Now, I showed you Nebo comes from Nabi, which is prophet, which is a Kikongo, or Bantu is in Kiswahili as well, which is a Bantu language, a Bantu word, Babylon. Okay, you see Ba, Babylon, Ba, Bantu, Ba, Nib. So all those words are related. We talked about Semitic and how they have similarity in the words, right? A group of people. So now let's get to the Assyrians, because they said Assyrian, in addition to Babylon, was a old ancient Semitic language, it said, remember? So this here, Kibi, is a lost Assyrian colony in Africa. I told you all we coming with receipt. I told you all that all these people were melanated people, okay? So let's pull this up here. So Kibi, the lost Assyrian colony in Africa. I'm not going to read all of it. It says, Assyrians have played a role in modern human development and civilization. Some of the first forms of writing, we just talked about this, right? Cuneiform first completed libraries, astrology, irrigation, warfare tactics came from their societies. So I told you, from Babylon to Sumer, right? And then it said to Hebrew. So it's telling you also Assyrian, because all these people were related. They lived by each other. It says Assyrians were able to hold influence across large swaths of territory outside of Mesopotamia, also known as the cradle civilization. This included Asia Minor, Persia, the Levant, what they call the Levant. I told you Levant, they have changed up words of Kemet through the Neo-Assyrian Empire as the empire expanded. It faced some turmoil. They went through civil wars, people taking over, via rebellions and so forth and so on. It's in the capital of it. We know in the Bible, it says it's Nineveh. The capital of Assyria was Nineveh. And they said that our people were taken captive there in this particular area, remember? Would ultimately fall to a coalition led by the Babylonian. I showed you who was a Babylonian king, Nabu. After the fall of Haran in 609 BC, surviving Assyrian refugees who were already enslaved and subjugated, they fled to western regions of Africa. So the Assyrians, after the fall of Haran in 609 BC, the refugees, they fled into deeper Africa, the western regions of Africa, the Assyrians, but they paint that the Assyrians are of a different influence. They paint this picture to the world. So when somebody shows you who they are, you best believe them. So we're seeing now that the people that stole the bike, so if you steal a bike and you say it's yours, number one, you're a liar. So now we're looking at it and we're seeing these receipts here. They said that the Assyrians were certain groups of people, that they were not liars. So we keep seeing a pattern: liar, 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 father of lies. You are a liar like your father. That's what the Bible said.
Yep.
I didn't say that, but now the Bible is anti-Semitic. I told you all about that. Someone that I know told me that they posted Revelation 2:9. I know them that say they are, but are not, but other synagogue. They said that's all I posted on Facebook. They said they told me that I got a strike. They took it down. They said it was anti-Semitic. I said, what? They said that's all I did. I just put that passage up there. I said, so now the Bible is anti-Semitic now? Okay. Just whatever to fit their agenda, you all. Do you all see? You see this?
And it was the Most High that said it. So the Most High has said anti-Semitic now, right? Oh, they funny.
During the fall of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, refugees began a long journey that could have taken years and left a trail. From Upper Mesopotamia. They charged through the Levant down to Egypt, the inner Africa, all the way down to modern Nigeria. So the descendants of the Assyrians are in Nigeria, in an area called Kibi. Okay. So we found the Assyrians. We know who the Babylonians were. Receipt, receipt, receipt. I didn't want to come with a lot because I could have came with more receipts, you all. Trust me, it's plenty out there. But I didn't want to take too long. So I just wanted to be able to show just a connection to get you all started to start doing your own research as well, to see, to know for yourself, to know the truth for yourself, you know. Any questions or comment before we move off of this slide here? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to like I did before here. Let me go here. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna share so you all can see. So this is someone from Kibi, melanated. Kibi State, Nigeria. This is where they fled. The descendants of the Assyrians fled into Kibi. And this is someone that is from Kibi, melanated, Assyrian. Okay. They all are melanated people, you all. The Bible is about melanated people. It is our history, that our culture. They turned it into a religion. Yeah. Something to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm listening. This is good.
Okay.
This is good teaching here. I'm glad I did let you do it.
All right. So I'm one, I always go and look, okay, let me go see if this is an actual area when I see names that are within our culture, because I told you we named lands and gave names and it described who we are as a person or something that we was going through. Like if we was running away from invasions and we stopped off in the land, our ancestors would name that place based upon what they were going through. This is our culture. So I was able to find a place called Nabi in Nigeria, as you can see here. I told you all these people are the same. I guarantee you if I put it on the map that it's going to be close to Kibi or Kebi. It's Kebi. So, so you see here, it says Nabi is a populated place in Niger State, Nigeria, Africa, with the region front cold. And I've been noticing this, they always have Middle East, and that's not Middle East, not what they consider Middle East. But I noticed they'll have that on there. So, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. Nabi. Why if there's no connection with us to the bite, why are we finding all these words within our places where we're living at, where our ancestors were, where they are now, within our languages? Why are we finding all of this in there? Receipts. And granted, our language is not called modern. It's Kikongo, Kiswahili, Lingala. That's just what they spoke. It is not modern. But theirs is referred to as modern, and it's called that for a reason. Now, we're almost getting done. I want to show you all this here map. I found the map. It's called Desert of Bayuda. That's how that's pronounced. Bayuda. Remember that I had told you? Bayuda. Also, Bayuda. So let me find that before we go on into this here. I want to show you all this map, this old African map. I think I still have it up here. Yes, I do. Pull it up before. There's something. Can somebody mute? I hear a lot of static and noise, so if you can just mute yourself. Okay, I'm looking for it. I have my calendar, I have my the map up, so bear with me.
Any questions, comments, so while we're doing this?
There's a Nubian desert. There's Sinai right there, so it's coming up close to it. See, there's Sinai
Y'all quiet.
right there. Let me go see.
That for
Let me go see if it's this one here then. Because I thought I left it up. Just so it could be, you know, for time's sake. Yeah, this is it. Because I remember I saw, I think this is it. It's the same one. Well, anyway, I thought I left it up for you all to see. But it's an area up above Abyssinia, which is the modern name, Nigeria. The real name is Abyssinia. Right above that and right below Egypt, you have an area called, and it's in the Sudan area, it's called the Desert of Bayuda. So why is it called Bayuda? We're going to get into that. I want to find that for you all. You want to talk while I'm looking? Nothing to say. No, y'all don't have any questions or comments. Y'all quiet today. Y'all tired.
Learning.
We all are. Okay. Let me go back here. It was somewhere over here about this because I remember seeing Doangola. Doangola is up there in that area too. Why is that's a Congo word. That's up there by Egypt, by the Nubian desert, that word. As a see, Nubia desert. Okay, I'm gonna go on because I can't find it, you all. So wow, I thought I left it up here. I'm sorry. Maybe next time I have it up here for you guys. But anyway, it's up there in Nubia is where it's located. And it's called You see it's spelled like this, but when you put it in Google Translate, it's gonna come up Bayuda. So we're gonna see what Bayuda is, and it's up there. Like I told you, you have Abyssinia down here, then up there you have the desert of Bayuda. So you see, Ba is a shortened form of Bana, and Ba is children or people. So Bayuda is the children of Judah, also known as Judah, where they start coining the word Jew in the 1700s. So that desert that's called Bayuda, that's the area where the children of Judah were living at one time. They were in that area. That's why it's called the desert of Bayuda. Receipts, again, receipts. Over on the continent of Africa, not Europe, Africa. The Assyrian word for child is Banu. You see, it's the same people. I told you they were related. Bana, a Bantu word. Bana, Banu, same, mean the same. Children are people. It's Assyrian. You see, it says, this is the Blue Letter Bible. It said, compare Assyrian Banu, which means begetter. Then you see Ba. You see Ba. Bayuda. All related. And it's H1129, Bana. And here it is, H1129, Bana, a primitive root. Uh-oh. I don't have the definition on here, but it means children. Let me pull it up for him. There it is. To build a house, to establish a family, to be built. So to build a house or to establish a family simply means to have children. That's why it's Bana, to build. You see right here, it says obtain children, to have children. So to build a house means to have children. And that's what Bana means, to build a house. So it means children, or it's translated as children of people. And I found it interesting too that it says establish or restored exiles as well. And they said made permanent. See, it says to be built up right there. Let me move this here. This is still from the Blue Letter Bible with Bana. You go below it, it have certain more information too. It says to build a house for anyone is equivalent to give him offspring and descendants. So that's what Bana are, offsprings, descendants, children, people. House is by a common Eastern metaphor applied to family and children. Eastern metaphor applied to family and children. And he who begets children is said to build a house. Hence, a son, so called from the idea of begetting. The same metaphor is, well, anyway.
Reminds me of the Paleo Hebrew, Bana, which does mean to build a house or house, which is circa 3200 BC, before this Yiddish stuff was implemented.
This here, what I said, Bana Bayuda, that is Paleo Hebrew. That's our language. So Bana,
yeah.
That's why we say Bana Betu.
Children of the house.
Children, yes. Bana Betu. So that's really, and you all remember Tabitha. Tabitha's back. She's been sending me a lot of information. We're gonna have to have her get on.
Yeah,
but she told me, she showed me a video. I don't know if I shared it in the group or not. That and it was, I think it was Johnny John. Well, she's on TikTok now. She said that she remember her grandmother in the village. They would say pala pala. Their language was pala pala. And so hence, no doubt they got Paleo. I told you they switched things up. So they got that and they coined it Paleo, but it's Pala Pala, which was our language. So like Brother Luzolo was saying, this Pala Pala or Paleo is our language. It belongs to us. And it's very ancient, just like us.
Yep. Yeah, because I believe that the Paleo Hebrew was pre-Babylonian, before our people were put into exile. And then as we were in captivity, the language started to change, so did the writing and script.
Yes, it was influenced. Even you will find some of Lingala words have some Portuguese word, even some French words. So yes, it was. And we'll get into that just a little bit, that it was before then. And you're absolutely correct on that from a historical perspective. You know, when our ancestors were brought over here forcefully into the diaspora, you know, they had mergers of words, European words and their words. And so that's what happened with our people over there when the Europeans came over there and colonized our land. So some of their words meshed in with ours and vice versa. You'll see a lot of their words come from our language, a lot of it, a lot of it. And even today, there are so many words over here in America, you'd be surprised that it came from Africa. You think that it was a European word? No. I was looking at an article and all these words, I'm like, really? They come from the continent of Africa. So we're very influential, have always been very influential people. As they say, when we cough, the world sneezes. That's been going on for years. It's because of who we are. All right? It's because of who we are, what we carry, what we possess as a people. It's just the same thing here. Woman is said to be built if her house is built when she has an offspring, children. So now let's go to the Arabic. So we're going to connect. Now, what I'm showing you, these are all Semitic languages, they said. Akkadian, Assyrian, Babylonian, Arabic, those three that I named prior to saying Arabic, those are the word of the old ancient, they said, language, they said, of Semitic languages. So Arabic also have Banu. And we know that the indigenous Arabic people, they were people of color. When you begin to research that, you will see that Tippy Tip that controlled the slave trade on the eastern coast of Africa, he was an Arabic, he was Black. The color changed when you had people coming from the outside influence from Europe, and they started mixing in. So then you got the lighter version, or people that, and you even had some that took on, you know, the culture and started blending in. So now you see that they have colonized the true Arabic people, the lighter version, and saying that are people. That's all you see. When no, it's the true people. The true Arabic people are melanated people. They come from Africa, Arabia, in that area over there. So Banu, the sons of or children of, appears before the name of a progenitor. So when you look at Bana, Bana is the plural form. So you're talking about children, group. And it's also Buana. Then you'll see Muana sometime. And some, but it's all the same. They're all Bantu languages. Bana, Buana, Muana. Child or children in Bantu dialect. And so, as I stated, Bana or Buana or Muana is plural. But Bana, Muana is plural, and the Muana is singular. So hence you have Bana, we say, Bantu, Kikongo, Bana Nzambi. I can't see it. Children of God, I think is what I have. He got something there.
I'll just pull it up the chat.
Angola, no, it was Do Angola where I was talking. It was not down in West Central Africa. It was up in Northeast Africa. So our people were up in that area. So you see, somebody asked us, Mama Brenda mean Angola? No, it was Do Angola, up in between Abyssinia and by Egypt. It was an area called Do Angola. And they had a lower part of it too. They said lower Do Angola. And I was just saying, you see how people were there because that word is a Kikongo word, but it's way up here by in between Egypt and Abyssinia, which is Ethiopia. And it's called Do Angola. Just showing receipts, that's all. So no, I was not talking about Angola, not the Angola today. So Bananzambi, that's what we say in Kikongo. I showed you Bana, Ba. They have this in the Bible for children, but this is our language. We said Bananzambi, children of the Most High. Nzambi is a Kikongo word for the creator, God. Mwana Biba Congo means I am a child of Congo. Who is Congo? Hey, it can get deep, you all.
Oh, yeah.
When you understand who Congo or what Congo is, and you say Mwana Biba Congo, I am a child of Congo. It's power in that, you all.
Hallelujah.
Especially when you understand what it means, what's behind it. So I went to Lingala to show you Mwana. It says child, Mwana, Bana. It's our language, people. The Semitic language is ours. And it's a multitude of people that speak this language. It's a language on the continent of Africa, as I said to you previously on the slide that they had in the definition. It said language predominantly spoken Africa. Y'all remember?
Yep.
Okay. So Lingala, also you have Mwana. So here you have Mwana, child, Mwana, children. So I was showing you that Bana is plural, Mwana is singular. So if you're talking about more than one, you say Bana, Bana Nzambi, the children of Nzambi. If you're talking about yourself, Mwana Biba Congo, I am a child of Congo. So some of you may remember, we would even, instead of saying Semi, you can also say Betwabu. Y'all remember that Betwabu?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here it is right here. Betwabu is a Chiluba greeting for quote unquote hello, but it's deeper than that. So in English, it's equivalent to their hello, but our words have meaning. We don't just say words arbitrarily. They have meaning. And so you will see bet is house. Bet means house, to build a house. Hence children from Bana, because to build means Bana, to build children. Remember I told you to build means the house is to have children. So bet is house, you building a house, so it's children. Abu, Betwabu, Abu is father. So Betwabu, you saying children of the house or children of the father. So do you see who we are? Just by our language alone, it's telling you who we are. Bana Nzambi, children of the Most High. Betwabu, children of the house, children of the Father. Our language. That's why it's important. It's a reason why they cut our ancestors' tongue out and would not allow them to speak their language when they stole them off the continent and brought them over here in America. Granted, some of our family in different areas, they still have some words mixed in. We don't really have a lot. We have a few that I learned to help us to say, okay, we are the people. It was a few of these words left. And I told you all like Guba, peanuts, and Guba is Kikongo for peanuts. And a lot of people in the South call peanuts Guba. That's what they used to call it. I remember it. My dad used to call it, people used to say Guba. And tote. I was looking at a comment somebody made in this group that Nzambi is in, and they said, and we tote. I like, oh, I haven't seen that in a long time, because I used to say that growing up, and somebody asked me, why do you say tote? Like, can you tote this for me? And it comes from a Kikongo word, which means to carry. So we still have little traces there to help us identify who we are, just, by those words that was left in our dialect. Even though we had been off the continent for hundreds of years, I found my grandson. With my grandson, we've been gone for 8 generations. Oh, we have company here. I'm going to let her speak.
She's still connecting.
Oh, she's still connected. So there she is.
Hello, indeed.
Can you guys see?
Yes, we see you. Let me stop sharing so we can all see you on this screen here.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good. Let me
Yeah,
Queen.
All right, my beautiful children.
to my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa. Mbolo, Mbolwani, my dear children, this is your, Lingon the second, 13th generation queen of the Fang people and of the diasporan African. Sorry, my children, I'm royally late. All right, what are we talking about today? Hello.
I had myself muted. What we're talking about is the word Semitic and tying in linguistics to show who the real Semitic people are just by linguistic, and how a lot of our words that are in the Bible, a lot of the words in the Bible are actually our words. The Bantu people, like I was going over Bana, Betwabu, and things of that nature to tie it in and show, because we need to know who the real Semite is.
Absolutely. Still teaching, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm in your classroom. When you need me, call me.
Okay, I'm almost done, Queen.
All right, man.
Did y'all hear her say, all right, Mwanana? She came with receipt, y'all. The Queen came with receipt already, just in our language. See?
That's right.
Okay.
Go to
Now let me share. I'm gonna go because I don't wanna take up a lot of the Queen's time. So we're almost done. So we're on the word Betwabu, because we know that's a word that is in Chiluba that they used to say a lot when we came out. Betwabu been a bed too. Betwabu been a bed too. And I told you that Bet means house to be a bana, and Abu means father. So it's saying the father's children, or the children of the house. That is us. So when you greet, they're greeting you as the children of the house, the children of the father. What father? Father, the creator. We're his children. And it comes from the modern Hebrew that they were, but you'll see the root word is our word. Bayit from H1129, which is Bana, the root word, which is a Bantu word. And as Brother Luzolo was saying, Paleo, Pala, our language. It comes from the our. So when you go and look in Arabic, even Ab they have, and I told you that Arabic, the original indigenous people of Arabia, the Arabics, they were melanated people like us. And their word for father is Ab, you see. And they have here Semitic, Abu, Ab, a common part of Arabic derived names meaning father of. So Abba, Abu is father of. So Abu, father of the house. Bet, house to build up children, father of the children. So the creator, Tatanzambi, is our father of the Bantu people. Even the ancient Egyptian in Kemet, Abu was a name of a city. So you see the language is even still there. I'm just showing you the receipts and tying things in here. It says an elephantine. That is where a lot of our people were. What I don't like using the word Jews. That's not Yuda, Bantu people. It said near modern day Aswan. As you can see, Abu was the name of a city. And I told you how we use names. We named them places where we transitioned, we was going through, and it was something that was going on, and we use that word as a descriptive to help us remember something, or it identified your character or your what you came to do, what your destiny was. So that tied into it as well. So just looking at their definition of Semite from the 1800s, and I told you I'll start looking at the dates, and it'll tell you a lot. And it says Greek, Latin is Sem, S-E-M. Remember that. So you see that the root words is S-M, which S-M is a root word of ours, Bantu people, Kikongo, right? And so it's regarded as an ancestor. It says Shem or Sem, it's really Sem. And it's modern Hebrew Shem. That's modern. I told you modern is what they call it. Now they say it means name. I told you all, they said probably this and probably that. They said the eldest son of Noah and progenitor of the Semitic tribes. It is from H8034, which means famous, name, renown. the root etymology, primitive root, perhaps. What I tell y'all about that word, perhaps?
Perhaps, probably.
Perhaps, rather from, to put, place, to set, appoint. Still talking about the name Shem, modern Shem. But you can see the Latin older word is S-E-M, Sem. It's where you get Semite from, okay? To set or make for a sign. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty of it. Let's see who the real Semite is. Real meaning and origin of Semite. Children of the king, royalty. Bantu, Bantu. I told you, children, people of the king. Okay. There we go. So just going over the word Bantu again, Bantu, Ba, I told you it's a shortened version of Bana, which means children of people. It is the plural form, and Mwana, Mwa is the singular, I told you. It's, I got some more here somewhere that's supposed to be coming on. That's not everything. Here we go. And two equals man. Thank you, Queen, for your teaching. The highest
You're
rank.
welcome, Manana. You're welcome.
And two, man, the highest ranked title of the man in the land. And two, okay? And two or NT is staff bearer, king, queen, or chief in our language, okay? Entomb is staff. That word means staff. It is the biggest man in the community, the man of the man. He's the man. You know what they say? He's the man. He's the man, the staff bearer or leader. So Bantu is the children of the people of the king, the staff bearer. Okay, it says the field is the world, the good seed, the good seed, the good seed are the children of the kingdom.
Yes.
That's the good seed. You the good seed. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. Y'all know the tares and wheat. He said he's going to separate the tares from the wheat. Do you all know that tares looks like wheat? You can't tell it apart until it matures. That is why he said, I will do the separation, because you can't tell it apart. So if you go in trying to separate, you may harm the wheat.
Yeah.
But the children of the kingdom shall be cast into outer darkness. Now, outer darkness here we know means ignorance. That's what happened to us when you look at that word. It means lack of knowledge or ignorance. So the children are going to be cast out into ignorance. Ignorance of what? Of who they are as a people. Did that not happen to us? Did we not forget who we were? We were cast out into blindness. That's what that word means, darkness, blindness. Light means truth. But now we're starting to go into the light, into the truth, because we are awakening spiritually. As Queen Ngong taught, Ntu refers to the highest ranked man in the kingdom of Zulu, which is Nzambi, the most high God, the creator. Sorry. All right. So we know that Nti is a chief, king, staff bearer, right? This is a staff of Congo. They have a lot of staff. I found some more staff, some more stuff, Queen, that they selling off, they're auctioning off. I found it's our staffs. So I'll share it with you when I was looking up some staff. So, and they're going for up in the thousands of dollars, you all. These staff of ours, that belong to our fathers, our ancestors. So the Egyptian staff sometimes was referred to as a scepter, the Wa scepter, and it was a symbol of divine power. So when you see them with a staff, it means divine power. I told you they said that King Nebuchadnezzar, which we found out was a melanated man of Babylon, they said that he was a deity. And I told you what deity means, just, you know, divine power, divinity, God. So this represents divine power. I told you that in Africa, our kings and queens were seen as God being represented on earth, ruling and reigning on earth. So they have a very a special place here amongst the children because we're the children of the king. So they're ruling on his stead here. That's why he gave them dominion to rule. And he have the king or queen ruling. And you see that they have the scepter. Queen, you have your scepter with you?
Yes.
Show them your scepter, Queen.
Actually, I need to get it from the altar. Give me a second.
That's okay then. That's okay.
Oh, okay, but yes,
this is-
that's the scepter.
Yes,
Go ahead.
right here. And it represents divine power. And our ancestors always had one. When you look in Kemet, all the way down even to today, to Congo, all over Africa, you're going to see the kings holding the staff bearer. Why? Because they are ambassadors of the Most High here on earth, ruling in his stead here on earth. Divine power, an emblem of authority. The scepter was one of the most important symbols and was depicted being held by ancient Egyptians. Here you go. I won't go hit you. Pharaohs, which were kings. They just started using that word pharaoh, but that's just simply meaning king. Let me find my cursor here. Images of gods and goddesses. Now, we talked about this last week. Elohim is plural and it means God and goddesses. And I told you I put goddess back in there because they took the goddess out. Remember the Ankh? So Elohim is plural and it means God and goddesses. That's why you will see that they referred and they said that our kings were God and goddesses. They were divine. Come straight from the Most High. And the priests also had them. So, and this is one from Congo, a staff from Congo. So I think I got maybe 2 more slides left. The leopard is symbolic of royalty. In ancient Egypt, they were associated with the gods. In Bantu culture, the kings are too revered or honored as God on earth. And that's what I was telling you all. Rule and reign on earth. And it says in Genesis 1:28, and God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have what? Dominion. This is what he told us. We are to have dominion and to rule. But because we have lost our position, we are not ruling. That's why, as I've been telling you all, you see so much chaos in the world because the people that are supposed to be ruling according to the ways of the Creator are not. So they are not abiding by the Creator's rule, and it is causing havoc. The earth is moaning and groaning. So in Israel, is they said Israel, the modern Hebrew. But when you go to it in the blue letter Bible, they say Yisrael. And they say it means he will rule as what? As God. What I was just saying. He will rule as God. So our kings and queens are ruling as God. God-like characteristics. A they said symbolic name for Yakuba, also typically of his posterity. Now look at what posterity means. Those that come after him. All future generations. So in other words, they too will be rulers, is what it's saying. So the etymology of Yisrael, they say, comes from the root word Elohim. I told you all, which means God, God-like one, a mighty one. So they're saying that our ancestors were mighty ones, so much so that they're still worshiping them today. When you look at the Greek gods and the Roman gods, those were our ancestors. They were real kings and queens, you all, but they have the world thinking they're gods and they were worshiped. No, we honor them. We revered them because we knew that they represented God here on earth. So when we look at them, we see God here ruling. They had the God-like characteristic. So they had to have certain traits to rule. That's why anybody could not be in that position. But let me say this, because it has been switched and we have people that are ruling on our continent that are not from the true lineage of the kings and queens, you see what's going on the continent. That's because they're not ruling according to the ways of Nzambi. That's because they're not the real true kings and queens. If you had the real kings and queens ruling, you would not see all this disorder. You would not see them allowing people to come in to steal our land, our resources, and rape, kill, and pillage the land and our people. You wouldn't see any of this. But because the rightful people are not ruling, that is what you see. Disorder. Not only on our land, but in the world. So it means God, the one true God. It means strength and power. They have power. Rest assured, yes, believe they have power. the true ones. Psalms 82:6 says, I have said, the Most High in Zombie, he said, ye are gods, you're gods, people. All of you are children of the Most High. Who he talking about? Ban and Zombie. Bantu, Ba into Ba, children of people, into staff bearer. Bantu, children of the King of the Most High. So this passage here, 82, Psalms 82:6, he says, all of you are children of the Most High. He's talking about Bantu. The very word itself means children of the King or children of the Most High or people of the King or people of the Most High. So it's talking about you in Psalms 82:6. Again, I'm bringing receipt. And these here,
children of the staff bearer.
yeah, children of the staff bearer, because that has power, rule, authority. So these are just some other words that our people in the Bantu languages use for quote unquote the modern day Israel. These are our words. Israel is not ours. You see it? So we're gonna move on. And it says it means in Zombie the everlasting. They said it means, what did I say it meant, y'all?
What, Israel?
Uh-huh.
I think
I can't remember, but
yeah.
But anyway, here it says in Zombie, the everlasting.
They say it means he will rule as God.
Okay, he will rule as God. It's in Zombie, the everlasting, the immortal, he who saved from sin, who purifies. So, excuse me. And these are some teachings that we got from Queen Ngonda's teaching and on Patreon. So you can go and join on Patreon. She does some teaching off of YouTube, information that, you know, everybody that does not need to hear certain things, and you can go and join her Patreon. And she goes more in depth on our culture, our history, our words, and so forth to teach us. So I encourage you all to go to her Patreon and join. That's where we learn a lot of this information from here. So as you can see here, S and Z, I told you all, is interchangeable in the Bantu languages. So you see Nzi, Nzi, and it means creator, usually in first or last name. So the Nzi is female and the Nzi is male, and it's the creator or leopard. Leopard is symbolic of royalty, as you can see our beautiful couple down here that are donning the here leopard print. I think this here is at a wedding. We still do this today, but you don't see this in the other people though. So it represents royalty because that's who we are. Remember, I told you that it said that even his progenitor, his people, that we will be rulers. So that is us. So it is time. This awakening is prophetic. It is time for us to awaken and to take back our golden bike, you all. We were calling it a golden bike, Queen. So the spiritual, I think this is the last slide here. The spiritual context in Semi or in Simu means creator. We're still talking about Semite, you all. In Semi or in Simu is creator. In C, creator, me, the, or of the creator. So me in Semi is of the creator. Me in Semi equals lineage of the creator, the people of the creator. Mbana and Zombie, children of the creator. Tata and Zombie, father, God, creator. You know, we say Semi. That means creator. We say that in our language, the creator, our father. So just using linguistic, you know, very briefly to give some receipts here of who we are, because, you know, we have a group of people that are disturbed because our people are coming out saying, hey, I can't be anti-Semitic. That means I'm against myself because I know my history. I know who I am. And I'm just using here a little history and just a very little linguistics to show you actually, yes, you are the true Semite. I showed you these people are melanated people. I showed you where they said these people, this language is spoken primarily on the continent of Africa, where heavily melanated people are. So you are the real Semite. So with them doing the things to us, can we come out and say then, hey, you are being anti-Semitic against me because I am the real Semite here.
Boom.
I am the real child of Bana and Zombie. So the things that you're doing to our brothers, Kanye, Tyree, what you did to others, that was anti-Semitic. Rest assured, it has been recorded in heaven. It has been recorded in Zulu. You're not going to get by with what you have done to our people. Rest assured, you're living in the era where things are coming back upon your heads. And you see it and you know it. So you need to get it straight. You need to get it right. And stop trying to perpetuate this lie and continue to say you are something that you're not. We want our golden bite back, and we're taking it back.
We ain't asking for it either.
So as you can see, Shem, Sem, and Semi or Nsemu, the creator. SM is the is for creator. That's where you get the word semen from. Semen from a male to create.
Yep.
He's the creator, our creator. I showed you all that by our linguistic, and that's all. And I'm going to turn it over to the hands of Queen Linguon.
All right.
Oh, one more thing, Queen. I'm sorry. This is a book that you guys can get. Ancient Egyptian and Bantu Linguistic Ties. I'm not going to have time to get in here. I was going to read some things and show you how the Egyptian language is tied into the Bantu, and how they said actually Egyptian come from the Bantu languages, because they tried to say, well, they're saying that Egyptian language is Afro-Asiatic language, which is a Semitic language. So if they say that, then you have to say that Bantu also is a Semitic language. So this book here, and also this was a note that I had here. Roy means royal or king. Who is called Roy? What group of people that you see this name Roy? Come on, talk to me. My granddaddy was named Roy, and then they named a lot of my cousins. Roy is in their name. What group of people has the name Roy, you all?
And even Leroy.
Leroy.
Okay.
Leroy.
So when you think about it in the French tongue, correct me if I'm wrong, Leroy is the royal.
Leroy is the king.
There you go.
The king. So mean red. And he said, you said your grandfather?
Yes,
Was
not grandfather, but my uncle.
Was named Roy.
And
he was light skinned.
And he was light skinned.
Because we call our light skinned people red because we know what red means. My grandfather was named Roy. He was light skinned. Our names, they kept names in our family, you all, so that we could have a trace and not forget. Our ancestors were very wise. Very wise. All right, Queen.
To my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, Mbolo, I would love to thank our beautiful queen and my sister, Mwanana, for this amazing teaching. You know, I felt it penetrate my bones. I was like, "Oh, give it to our babies." She's an amazing teacher, and I love her. So, as your queen has already said, who we are, okay, my children, we are who we are, and we don't have to debate anybody about who we are when it comes to whose sons and daughters we are. Because let me tell you something, our people say the legitimate son never has to prove that he belongs to his father's house, because these matters of legitimacy were established since birth, since he was born. And why do we know that he's legitimate? Because he was born within a covenant between his parents, also known as wedlock. So what does it mean? All the people who needed to be there to bear it witness were there. So that's why when I used to go home, when both my parents were living, all of my siblings, we live abroad. So when my parents retired from their diplomatic mission, they went home. So the palace was empty. And what happened, you know, the cousin, the children from the family, they come and occupy rooms and fill the house. But guess what? They could call my father Papa or call Mama whenever none of us is around. But whenever I got to town, I didn't have to debate about with any of them as to what is my position in my father's house and my mother's house. It was never a show force. They know that me is direct When that father or that mother's die, whose name gonna be on the will? So we don't argue with cousins. And it applies to what we're facing today. Whether cousins or blood cousins or adopted cousins or however they wind up in our family. Cousin is cousin. The village child is the village child. The village child, like we call the child of the family. When we do on Ubuntu, sometimes we go to the village, we take a widow's child, we bring them to our home and we raise them. So she can have a strong child in her home to take care of her and the rest. But that child cannot come and fight with my children over inheritance. It's unheard of. So these are matters we should never feel that we have to debate anybody because our legitimacy was established at our birth. Okay? Our DNA prove it. Our languages prove it, just like my sister Moana just explained. By the simple name of Bantu, the children of the man with the staff. When we are on this physical realm, is the king. When we're speaking of in the heavens, Zambe himself. Our name tells the story of our people. So there's no debate or there's no iron fist with nobody. Don't give them that energy. All I can tell you that now, my beautiful children, now that you have come to find out who you truly are, you have come to find out these amazing people we come from, how Zambe handpicked us. Yeah, now that you know all that, now are you still inclined to believe that these badasses were the ones who sold their children? Let me talk to you, my children. Let me, in the language you could understand, so you move your soul. Are you still inclined to believe that these guys did what they accused them of doing? Or now you understand why they say the things they said about them? Now that you have come to the truth, so now you know. Unless you're a banished one, you will know, you will understand that in order for someone to claim a throne, it has to be vacant. You hijack a throne, you murder the king, and you do away with his children. You ship them off away from that land. And this is what many of you are. And this is what I want you to awaken in this time. In our history, it's written, we will awaken to who we are. Our elders, our ancestors never told us that it's gonna be required from us to go and eat a grass somewhere or go and drink a magic potion somewhere. That inheritance I earlier mentioned is in our blood, in our DNA, our God DNA. That one there's no arguing with somebody with. You just have to prepare the conditions to start healing and to be who you are. My children, we need to stop arguing. Let's just show them who we are. Let them show them. Stop arguing. Now I know the king I descended from. Let me be that king on earth now. Take the gangster clothing, throw them to the trash. Take the fake culture they're feeding down on our throat, throw it away. If one of you have questions, my queen, when a child is born, what do our people do? I will tell you how we consecrate the child, how we give them the first bath, the word we speak on them, how we lift them up to the sun. I will tell you all that. My queen, how do you propose to a woman? How do our ancestors use to show a woman that I'm interested in marrying? I will tell you, go and do the introduction right. Take a liquor, take cola nut. I will tell you everything. We need to go back to who we are. That's all we have to do at this point. No debating nobody. People who didn't raise cattle with us shouldn't think they can come and rub shoulders with us. That child can only be in a position where he contests with you on your inheritance when your father or mother has allowed him on your table. So he sits next to you and shoulder with you, thinking now you and him are now the same. No, our fathers never done such thing. They never allow them on our table. War happened to us. That's why I tell you, my beautiful children, blood shed over your heads. You are covenanted. You don't need to debate anybody with it. Okay, my lovely ones. That was it.
Powerful, powerful. Well, you know, I want to know how to propose to my wife again in our culture, because we're going to do our vows. We're going to do it the right way.
Yes, and I suggest all our sons out there who are illegally stealing our people's daughters, because that's what our people say. When you marry a girl, you didn't go to traditional rites, you didn't give the liquor, the fabric, and everything. They say, they call you a thief. They say, when joining our daughter, you didn't pay her price over her head, you didn't pay her bride price, you a thief. So in our culture, the children are technically not even yours. Spiritually, they belong to her clan. Whoa. Because you are yet to do what is required. So when you want to propose to one of our princesses, you buy 6 yards of the most expensive fabric you think she will like. And you go to her, you get on one knee and you present her with it. Tell her this is the beginning. I promise to always wrap you up in the most expensive fabric. Will never go naked by my side. This is how our guys do. You're gonna be my, would you be my widow? So, so you letting her know I want you for the long haul. When they lay me to rest with my ancestor, I want you the one sitting on the floor, because that's what our tradition. When you're a widow, you mourn your husband. You don't sit on a chair, you sit on the floor. So they say, oh, would you be my widow? That's what we do. The diamond, I know it's a European thing, and we need to walk away from their greed. If we stop supporting the diamond, people are people they're enslaving over there, illegally digging diamonds for it. Okay? Yes. So that's how we propose. And you want, this is when you propose to the woman. Now, when you want to let your intentions know to her family that you want to marry her, you go with your dad, if your dad is no longer his brother. They're the one who paid the bride price, they're the one who go and ask. That's why I told you guys that you guys don't marry us, we marry you. You send the application and then we approve or we decline. Hmm? So take your father and an elder of your community, because they always got to be witness. The elder can be as a witness, your father plus yourself. You take a liquor and call a knot and some yards of fabrics. These fabrics we wear, this is for the mothers. So you go and your father talks, you yourself, you don't talk, your elder talks. Yeah, our son saw a beautiful flower in your compound. That's usually how they approach you. They approach the bride's father. One day was lurking around and he saw a beautiful flower in your compound. And we're here to let you know that we want to pluck it. So we take it to our compound, and so it could blossom our compound. So we came and set our intentions, and then they present whatever they brought. And then the father would be like, oh, my daughter, which one? If he got several. Now you better remember which one you want. There was a story of a guy.
I know. Oh my goodness.
There was a story for the guy. He went and married in a family that had like 8 girls. And as you know, us, the song, we stunning. So, but he really had eyes on one. But that one didn't want because she was already, betrothed to marry somebody else. So he settled for the next best in the family. He's like, just getting in her family would do it. So when they asked him which one, he gave the wrong name.
Oh no, no, no.
Yes. So you see, so right, and then they call the daughter you say you want. They send the mother, bring her out. When she comes in front of everybody, do you know him? Yes. Do you know why he's here? I think I know why he's here. To ask my hand in marriage. So you can marry him. Do you love him? Yes. If everything checks out, they send her back to the house and they take your drinks. So at that point, you are officially her fiance. Now, if another guy come checking her out, they say, pardon, we don't want any trouble. We have already accepted drink from somebody else, right? So at that point, they become your watchguard. They're like, no, accept a drink from somebody that will come and marry her. That's how it works. So it is important that we rebuild the families. It's very important for every bride, every groom to have both, because according to our people, it foretells the health of the marriage. Because during the traditional marriage, both families sit down, designate elders whose sole job will be to keep you guys together. So when there's problem within the couple, these 2 elders, one on each side, sit down and tell, no, we took a vow to keep you guys together. So you understand, if we agreed that we are going to allow our children to be together, and we will help them build a strong union. But what we did today, family structures are broken, and a lot of marriage that fail is usually the very same family members who's supposed to help them stay together who tear them apart.
Wow.
You see?
Yes.
So it is important that in rebuilding, because a lot of people, most families, if you want to marry a woman and the mom is a single mom, some family will discourage that. They will tell their son, you're going to marry the woman and her mother, because her mother doesn't have a life.
Oh my goodness.
That's how they view it. They said you will be very involved in your affairs because she doesn't have her husband to deal with. You see? And they will also discourage her. They will say things come tough. If herself couldn't sit through the difficulties or the challenges of marriage, what makes you think that she would know how to properly advise her daughters? Yeah. Still, even when they're going through a storm, wisdom, So some families, they will tell you can't marry the love of your life because, she comes from a broken home. Wow. You see? And you also show that unless our people don't sit through abuse as Bantu fathers, they will go and pull their daughters out of that man's house if they hear he's putting hands on her. They say as long as nothing get violent, every other problem can be worked out. Even infidelity, we don't break marriages because of infidelity. If he goes and have a child outside, the one thing she's gonna get a check, no, go and knock at her door. Whatever my husband produces is mine, give me my child. And you live with my husband without permission. You produce a child, that child belongs to my house, or you raise a bastard child. You want to eternal home. You see? So it is so important that we go back to our beautiful and rich culture. It will stop a lot of disputes. Sons, if your sister gets pregnant and didn't marry her, man up, take care of that child as yours. Take that child from your sister. If you marry, have a wife, tell your wife, our people, this one is my son. Our father is no longer, or our father never been on. I'm the standing son in this family. If my sister, unwedded sister, has a child, he's my son. I attach him to my tree. No child is a bastard.
Yes.
So you take care of your nephews. In some tribes in Gabon, the southern people, the nephew carries more weight than the biological son of the, because those tribes are 100% matriarchal. They say, my nephew indeed related to me. I can prove that he's my blood because my sister birthed him. Now, my wife's child may not be.
Oh, goodness.
Oops.
So for that reason, the southern kingdoms of Gabon used to be passed down to the nephew, the king's sister, the child. He's the one sitting because they know that that one is their blood for sure. So, you know, to cut a long story short, our son, if your sister have a child outside of is your child. You know, don't marry a woman who doesn't understand your culture. You want to marry a woman, you have to be on with the way things work in our culture. When issue rises, you don't meet resistance at home. You go and collect the child from your young sister. Let her go back to school. Let her do what she needs to do to get her life together. The child is a blessing for our people. It has never been a curse or something shameful to be ashamed of. So you see, not only is your sister, it gives a lineage to her son, but also she won't get involved into this child thing. You see, these crazy guys killing our daughters left and right and our babies. When that child support thing, I'm like, all this happened because our children lost their culture. Don't take to court someone who didn't marry you. According to our culture, that's not his child. Spiritually, the ancestor don't look at him as a husband. So keep your child, take care of it, unless he marries you and then you go to the court thing and then you have to be liable for the maintenance of the children. Other than that, don't cross people like that. It's not our culture. You didn't marry me. If I ended up pregnant, it's not that we encourage that, but when it happens, there's still a remedy for that for all parties. So our sons, please man up. Do what you need to do. Protect your sisters, protect your wives. They're the one who hold your protection. They're the one who hold your abundance. Do your duty in the morning, you will transform. Okay, my people.
Beautiful. Wow.
Matondo. In tea.
All right, my beautiful people. So to my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, peace. All right, in your homes, maintain peace. Love in your heart. Love should be all of us driving force. When it's something else, you know, you see how they play our high profile songs and stuff. They have become them.
Mm.
So therefore, as long as we attach ourselves to money, we have sell out, we have sold out because our people didn't have that kind of relationship with money. Money that's going to cost you to lose dignity. Money that's going to cost you lose your sense of humanity. So you see, so love always in your heart because that's our driving force, and unity. We are the generation being represented with the same test our fathers. We are that generation. We're not being awakened and getting healed just to walk around, do nonsense. We are getting healed to retake that test that would lead to our liberation. Satan Zambe said we will receive help from unlikely places, my children. Just stay at peace. The people we may look at and think that they will do something to help them, it was prophesied, help will come from unlikely places. So it's important that you be at peace, that you keep love in your heart, and that they're united like that, right? When you fist somebody's face like that, it hurts. Then you put what, 2 fingers? You slap them with 2 fingers. It won't work. We do this on 2 feet. Unity. Until next time. Mwah.
Mwah. Matondo kwe, matondo.
I love you, my people. I love you. Until next time.
Thank you.
Dondo Masaka. Well, family, as I had said earlier, my DNA shows and proves I am 100% African. I know who I am. I know my language. I am Semitic. So there's no way I can be against myself. So let us stand up, my brothers and sisters. It is our time. It is time to return. We are wakening up. We're waking up. Now let us return to our spirituality and drop the European religion, because that's what cursed us. That is what cursed us. So we're taking our golden bite back. We're not asking for it. We're not saying, please give it back to us. No, you took it from us by force. We're coming back and we're taking it by force. And guess what? We got help.
From our father
We got help.
and our forefathers.
Hey. See, we are gods. He said we are gods. We are his children. We are his chosen, not you. We are his chosen. Therefore, he is on our side. He said, and you all left this in the Bible. He said, if I am for you, who can be against you? See, we know who we are. And we know who our Father is.
Yes.
So we're coming. And our righteous Nkulu, our righteous ancestors of the life are coming with us. So now that we speak, see, you all thought you had power. See, your power is only technology.
Money.
Your power is money. But see, we have power that goes far beyond and greater than what you possess. Yours is only earthly, physical, but ours is spiritual. See, we can speak and create. You can't. Your creation comes from your money, but ours come from our tongue. So we will no longer curse ourselves because of what you said, because of what you taught us. No, we step away from that. And we're speaking what Tata Nzambe has given us. So what we want to see take place, that is what we're going to say. Your end is at hand, and ours had just begun.
Our beginning has just begun.
And you thought you hid that one too, but we found it. It's in Second Esdras, 6 and 9. The ending of Esau, the end of this world is the end of Esau and the beginning of Yakuba. I may have misquoted that one. I may have misquoted it, but y'all know what I'm saying. The ending of this world, which is Esau, Israel, is the beginning of Yakubi. This is our beginning. So no more cowering down, no more bowing down. We're standing up. And you can't do anything to me except destroy this temple, the physical. And Tata Nzambi told us, don't fear the one who can destroy the body only, but fear the one who can destroy both body and soul, the spirit. And it's not talking about scared, but it's talking about honor, reverence, respect. So I have no respect for you.
None.
Hallelujah. Hey, Yaya, how you doing?
Get her.
Yes.
I can do this real
Hey, Kimbo.
Have you ended the recording?
No.
Okay, so I can say this real quick out of this book
All
then.
right.
Linguistic ties between ancient Egyptian and Bantu. I'm just going to read a few little things out of here. I encourage you to get this book to see. As I stated, they say that Afro-Asiatic, aka Semitic language, is also Egyptian. So you'll see. Let me read it where I'm going with this. Just some quick things. It says, the evidence I have uncovered is that the vocabulary of the ancient Egyptian language is closely related to the Bantu languages of East, Central, and Southern Africa. That is all the places where our ancestors were, and they came and took them into captivity. So they're saying that the language of our ancestors, the language that we speak, is tied into Egyptian, or Egyptian is tied into Bantu language rather. In other words, the linguistic connections from a symbiotic relationship in terms of commonality between the languages which are genetically related. A genetic relationship means that at some stage in the past, the languages descended from a common language called a proto-language, what Brother Luzola was talking about previously. More specifically, the ancestral language. In this case, the proto-language, let me say this loud so they can hear this. The proto-language is Proto-Bantu.
Say it again.
The proto-language is Proto-Bantu. Okay? And then it says the world-renowned linguist Joseph Greenberg, and I had his name up there previously on the slide, if you remember, was able to categorize the languages of Africa. Now, they've been studying us, you all. They know more about us than we know ourselves because they have our scrolls. And they've been studying us, going to our elders and learning things and writing them in books and saying that it's theirs. The world-renowned linguist Joseph Greenberg was able to categorize the languages of Africa by sifting through and comparing vast amounts of vocabulary between African languages, and by this process, he was able to classify these languages. I have followed Joseph, this is the author, Greenberg's method of mass comparison of vocabulary between ancient, Kemet, Egyptian, and Bantu. It has come as a surprise that many sound or meaning relationships between the languages of Bantu origin and the etymologies of lexical terms examined also present further evidence. So it's saying that they are strikingly the same, very close resemblance. This book illustrates substantial resemblance in lexical terms and demonstrates that the core, the heart, the core vocabulary of the ancient Egyptian language lies within the ancestral Bantu family of languages. Now, I told you all earlier, they said that Afro-Asiatic language also include Egyptian. And here I just told you in this book, the linguistic ties of ancient Egyptian is the Proto-Bantu language. So they're saying that this is Semitic. This language also is Semitic. Okay, a little bit more. The book illustrates substantial resemblance in lexical terms and demonstrates the core vocabulary of the ancient Egyptian language lies within the ancestral Bantu family of languages. Let me see here. Oh, okay. I do want to read this. I was trying to see if I want to read this. Ancient Egyptian words for the eye, singing, the sun, fire, heat, animal terms, body parts, wood, words for trees, water, names for rivers, lakes, canals, stars, on and on and on, it says. And other important words, such as the word for a person is defined as mutu. This is Egyptian Kemetic, MTU, mutu. What do we say in Bantu for a person? Huh?
Muntu.
Muntu. Well,
yes.
in ancient Egypt, they said mutu, MTU, mutu. All
Just
the same.
without the N. Right, just without the N.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't
And
have
it's-
the U
and it
in
don't
the
have the
end.
Right. Okay.
TU,
Muntu.
mutu.
Muntu.
Yes. And so all have been verified, tabulated, and compared to give a good fit in lexical terms with Bantu languages. So I told you all that our ancestors were in North Africa. That is our Northeast Africa, what they call Northeast Africa. They lived up in there. They were there first in that particular area, right? And so the Egyptians or the Semites, they were influenced by us. We ruled there. So you're going to see a lot of similarity of our spirituality in ancient Egypt spirituality. Yes, you will. It's because they learned from us and they got from us. So they told us they shied us away from the spirituality of Kemet for a reason, you all. They said it was demonic. They said that they had multiple gods. I'm here to tell you that's a lie from the pits of hell. Why in the world are you listening to people that sent your ancestors into captivity? They turned around and gave you a story of who you are.
Yes.
Why would you believe them? They did not worship multiple gods. What they were doing, they were using nature and symbols to identify, to describe the characteristic and the nature of the sovereign and send me.
Yes.
But if you don't understand that the particular people, culture, their language, or if you have a hidden agenda, then you would say otherwise. And that is what has happened. Okay. And so we need to understand that. And those people I told you previously that they say were gods and they worship them, we didn't worship them. They was kings and we honored them because I showed to you all how our kings, our true kings, which had a covenantal relationship with the Most High, ruled in his stead on earth. So we had a reverence from them in that perspective because they represented the Most High here on earth, divine rulership here on earth. And so they went around and said they're gods, and they turned around and they gave they began to worship our ancestors. They gave them their name. They turned around and named them and gave them their names, and they actually worshiped them. We didn't worship them. No, we did not. We honored them. There's a difference. We showed them reverence because they didn't know our culture. Then they came right still to this day. They're honoring our kings, our ancestors. So a little bit more. So it says, therefore, the ancient Egyptian language stands inside and not outside the Bantu family. So Egyptian came from the Bantu language, okay? So they hide the fact that we were there and we ruled in that area. It's hard for you to find that information. It's there, you can find it, but it's hard for you to tap into it to see King Tut was Bantu. That's why they... The more that somebody said, the more they dig, the more they see how black, how dark the Egyptians were. They have to stop digging, or they have to stop lying and start changing up history because of what they're finding out about us. That is why you see when they did the DNA, that they were showing that the DNA of the lot of Egyptian was E1B1A, which is also the same DNA of sub-Saharan Africa, which is majority of where a majority of us came from, E1B1A. So now all of a sudden they have proved this entire connection, not only linguistically, but also by way of genetics, that we were the people up in there that they speak of in the Bible. So now what have they done? What they always do, they come back and they change, they cleanse up. What do they call that? The Manchurian effect. That's what they do. So they change things like, I know it was there. I know they changing up words, they changing up definitions and things. And so now they're trying to say, oh, well, there's no truth to DNA. It's, it's not an accurate science and you really can't go by that. But you know what? You put a lot of our brothers in jail by using DNA for child support. You put a lot of our brothers in jail because of DNA. But now all of a sudden, because it ties in to who we are as a people and prove that we were there and we're connected to people in Egypt and Kemet, now all of a sudden it's not true, it's not accurate, it's not real science. Yeah, we know your game.
Well, if it don't matter, let our brothers out.
We know your game. Game is up. Game is up. I think that's enough. I don't have to read it anymore. I had some more, but I think that's enough to show that it says that Kemet, ancient Egypt language came from Proto-Bantu language. Over the years, our language have become corrupted in some form. There was no H in our language. No H in our language. So you will see they will have H at the end of their words, but when you go in the Blue Letter Bible to the etymology, the H is removed. You will see they will have a C. When you go to the etymology, it'll be a K, because we don't use C, we use K. It is not C-O-N-G-O, it's K-O-N-G-O. Because it carries a different vibration. It has a higher vibration. Our language, I told you all that before, has a higher vibration. It operates, it moves, it flows in the atmosphere at a higher vibration. When you say Nzambi, you should feel something because of that vibration. When you say the sovereign and Semi, you should feel something within you. It should resonate within your core because of the power, because words are frequency. See, words of frequency is nothing more than power. So our words, our language have power. And within our words, within our language, it shows who we are as a people. I told you, we don't just arbitrarily have words, as a lot of these Indo-European words just have words just to have words. Our words have deep meaning and they have multiple meanings, as you all have learned, throughout your awakening. I showed you about Betwabu, Banabetu, Mwanabibakongo, Nsimi, me and Simi. All these words, these phrases have very deep spiritual meaning. It connects us to the Most High, our Father. He's our Father. That's why we're created in his image and in his likeness. I told you all last week, if you miss it, that dark energy, that dark matter, that ain't nothing but the melanin. That they said, no, they know it's out there, but they can't see it. But it's there because they see that it is influencing the elements out there. It's expanding the universe and it's holding up the stars. And it's dark matter. Matter, mother, that is where it comes from. We're created in his image and in his likeness, and nobody else. You are some powerful people. You are some magnificent people. You are some royal people. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. You are the chosen seed. It is us. And it is time we awaken, because some people still don't know who they are. So if somebody stole your bite, You don't, well, your grandfather's bike is the example I gave, but you don't know that that was your grandfather's bike, and they ride that golden bike, and they even using it to make money off of it because they rent it out. It's gold, so it lasts forever and ever. And you know, you take care of it, so they renting it out, and they're making money from it. They got rich off of it, you all, out of using this here golden bike. But you don't know that it belongs to you. But once you awaken, wait a minute, you come across the wheel within your DNA that tells you, that's you, my dear. Like, hold up, I'm taking my bike, and what you made off my bike, I'm taking that too. And I'm not doing it, as Manzamba said, by myself, but I'm doing it with my father and my fathers. Who's on my side? This is our time. We are in the age of Aquarius, which is heightened knowledge. So these people coming out that are in position of status amongst our people, that are finding out who they are, rest assured, I told you all, next year, we're going to see a swarm of people awakening. Watch. Oh, I felt that. They cannot stop this, you all. They can't stop. This has been prophesied. This is our time. You heard Queen said, just like she said, as they're fighting each other right now, as their systems are crumbling, as their countries are in so much turmoil, you have lakes and rivers are drying up, and they don't have electricity and so forth and so on. Their money is losing power. They're losing power. It is our time to focus on ourselves, to heal from the trauma, because we have been taught to hate ourselves. And when we hate ourselves, we hate each other. We've been taught to not look at each other as family anymore. When the Most High looks at us, this awakening is not about one person. Many of us have all of us really have a place to do. We all came back here to do something. We all have a part to play. And you need to remember, we need to remember, whatever position you play, whatever position I play, it's not just about me, but it's about Bana and Zambi, the children of the Most High, because when he look at us, he's not looking at an individual. He's looking at his children.
Yeah. Collectively, yeah.
As a whole,
Yeah.
it's a boom to spirit. So we need to heal, so we can start looking at each other again as we used to, as our ancestors used to. United we stand, and divided we fall, and they know this. They are not afraid. Somebody said they are afraid of in this interview. I don't even, he said a debate. That wasn't a debate. He said we are afraid of them fighting. No, they're not afraid of that. They are afraid of us awakening and uniting, because when you unite, there's power. There's more melanated people on the face of the earth than any other group of people. So they do not want us to unite. So we need to heal, family. Let's focus on healing.
I've said it 1,001 times. That's where our power lies, in our unification.
Yes. Yes. So what they're looking at now is what took place in Egypt, Kamata. When the Pharaoh looked out and saw all these Bantu, and saw it was more of them than it was of them. And they said, we have to come and overtake them before they rise up. Okay. So that's what's happening now. See, they cannot overtake us anymore, because we know who we are. We know that we're the children of the Most High. We know that we're Semites. We know it.
May the true Semites stand up.
So now we're uniting.
Now, what you saying that about us being in Kemet too, and they said that let us what was that you said now again? Let us
Overcome
them before that. Okay, yes. Now also in that same passage in that book, they said that a leader rose up amongst them that didn't know Joseph, right? that was over them. That was not our people. Say they lied. These people are just liars. They have changed. That wasn't that. Remember, there was a group of people, the Ptolemies.
And it's gonna be another teaching, y'all.
The Ptolemies came into, which were Greeks. They came into Kemet and they took over. They invaded. That's who it was that took over and didn't know our people because they weren't our people. Now the other melanated people around each other, the Babylonians, the Syrians, the Akkadians, all of them, the Chaldeans, they all knew each other. They were related. They were cousins.
Wait.
They knew each other. But these people that came in from the north that looked different, talk different, act different, worship differently, they don't know each other.
Come on.
That's
Let's
right.
think about this.
That's why they desecrated the temples.
Yes.
So think about this. If you're in a community, everybody know everybody.
That's right.
Okay, every king that rose up knew. How they used to say it? They knew Tim now.
Tim and them.
Yeah,
Tim and them.
they knew
Tim and
they
them.
knew Nana them.
Uh-huh.
They knew them. So you got somebody on the outside coming in,
Right.
taking over, and come in as king. I don't know you. Who are you? I don't know that family.
Yep. And after the Ptolemies,
That's what happened.
yes.
But like I said, that's gonna be another teaching.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say
That's
this
gonna be
real quick
another
because we
teaching.
And
I know
check
y'all
this out.
sometimes y'all don't want to talk when we're recording, so we're gonna say this, stop the recording, and give y'all a little time to talk, and then we gotta go because we got an appointment to go to. But I lost my train of thought. What I was gonna say, that quick with what I was saying, but it was tied into about the after I know what I was gonna say. After the Ptolemies, which were the Greeks, we know that the Romans came in, right? So when the Ptolemies came in, our people started running out, and there's some documentation that I found in my research says that when they did come in, that our ancestors went deeper to Africa. Okay, now the Romans came in after the Greeks, because the Romans took over the Greeks, and then you have Josephus saying that they slaughtered millions of our people. They were Bantu people, you all. And they said that he, in his writing, that many of them started running again. This time the Romans are ruling. First it was the Grecian they ran down deeper into Africa. So at different times we were leaving Northeast Africa, our ancestors, and going deeper into Africa. And that's how we ended up there. So where's the receipt? These people is documented that our ancestors' territory was invaded and they ran deeper into Africa. Where's the receipt? We have the receipt. Our people are still there. That is where they got us from. Where your people at? If you saying you the people, that man said that his ancestor was enslaved in Israel, show me the receipt of where your people ran deeper into Africa. You prove who you are. We don't have to prove who we are. Like our queen said, we know who we are. You prove. You can't prove. That's how you come out. Let me stop.
Like she said,
Look, they tried to run to Uganda. Now how they gonna fit in there?
it was about 5 places they tried to run
Right.
and they left their country.
That's right.
Okay, over there by Russia and them.
Right. Russian and them. By way of Ukraine.
and they looked for a place to go. Okay, come on now. Look, like Mama Brenda said, where are your receipts?
They don't have any. They can only come by and
I remember someone speaking to them and asked them, mentioned to them about when were you in captivity? Even in scripture, it says that. And they said, we were never in captivity.
You know that.
So,
but that guy said they were.
Right.
Y'all saw the interview. He said they were. So I want to know when. I don't see no documentation of showing that they were.
Where are the receipts?
But it saw otherwise that they came into our territory and they invaded. It was them. It was not our people. It was not melanated people, you all. Trust and believe they have manipulated the Bible. That's why I say that Bible is very dangerous.
Like our queen said, we don't need to debate.
No,
we don't need
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Just say what we say, and that's it. We ain't even got to go back and forth with them because we know the truth.
Exactly.
She said just,
so all we do is just show them who we are.
That's what she said. Just be who we are. This is who we are. Just be who we are. Focus on who we are. We don't focus on nobody else. Just do what we need to do and keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
And check this out. Just look at how this it's been broken, but the spell has been broken when Queen Elizabeth's funeral, when they broke the scepter in half, then all of a sudden the awakening just took off, and scales are coming off of the eyes of our people, and the spell has been broken off the minds of our people.
Yes.
Once that scepter was broke, because she held the key to our minds being still in captivity.
You said a lot. You said a lot. Yeah. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this before we say something, and I had to go in and edit and everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
You're fine.
You're all right.
We said what we said, and we meant what we said, and we ain't retracting. It is what it is.
That's right.
Right.
I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I have no respect for you. You didn't have respect for my ancestors when you went in and robbed, pillaged, and still pillaging. You have no respect. So I'm going in, baby. I'm in. She's telling me in the recording. So I don't respect you. All right. So
you know,
all Campbell.
I show them respect when they do right by us. When they denounce what they did to us, renounce it and say it was inherently evil.
No.
And give us what's due unto us.
No. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I said no. Because they're about trickery.
Yeah. Right.
They keep saying
that's right.
They don't want us there.
That's right.
And no, you said what you said. Let me say what I want to say.
They not to be trusted. Trust me.
They don't want us there. So when stuff start heating up, then they say we can be one.
No,
we can come together. No, I don't want to come together with you.
No, I
okay.
Just like I was talking about
ancestors, you're not going to trick this generation.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Nope.
Just like they trying to be a part of the AU.
Yes.
Talking about to look over. No, you ain't looking over. You come to spy.
Yeah,
you come to sow discord.
Exactly.
You're not to be trusted.
So, Luzolo, my brother, you have a very powerful position. So that's why I said be wise in that position, because we know who's around our people. We know their tactics.
Okay, I don't want to edit anything. So, family, we love you. We're going to talk about this on the other side. We love you. May Tata and Zambi increase you. Stand up. You don't have to debate who you are. You don't have to argue with them. Know who you are. You do know. Stand up. Speak. All right. So you all be increased. Ingeta.